Just when I thought it was over. So, by sheer coincidence, I have completed my Under Night character overview video on the same weekend as Arc World Tour. So imagine my surprise when shortly after the Uni 2 Top 8, they announce a new character. Yeah, on the day I uploaded the video, no less. I'm just gonna ignore that fact for now. We have other news to cover. That news being, apparently Strive is back in full force. Now, I haven't played Strive since around Season 3, but the changes in this trailer are so big that I might be back on the train. I am so very intrigued. Before I actually do any sort of frame-by-frame analysis, I am going to start by addressing the elephant in the room, Wild Assault. I do remember hearing that they were looking into a way to fix it because the state that it's currently in isn't the healthiest. I thought we were getting adjustments, not straight-up removal. But no, it is gone. We are back to Season 1 and 2 type of Strive, I guess. Though they did want to keep the animations that they made for Wild Assault. In order to do so, they created a new, more niche mechanic, I think. Counter Blitz. The way it works is that when you get a bigger, slowed down counter hit from a slash or a heavy slash, you can spend half of your burst gauge to perform what is essentially a smart steer ender from Uni. If it's near the corner, it'll wall break, though I imagine it'll do a hard knockdown mid-screen. Whether or not this is the only major system mechanic change we're getting, we have yet to know. The thing that intrigues me the most is the character changes. Aside from the 4 entirely new special moves, every little clip that they have shown implies to me that those characters are getting almost completely reworked from the ground up. For instance, you can block Happy Chaos's Curse Ball now. What? Steady aim no longer guard crushes, but the tracking seems to lock on instantly as if Curse was applied, even though the effects don't appear on Axel here. If that wasn't enough, immediately after firing using steady aim, Happy Chaos fires another round that teleports directly above the opponent. Having that JP-style delayed shot is crazy enough, but I'm still hung over the fact that it happened so quickly. If you don't pause and go frame by frame, you would have had no idea he fired that second shot. All of this implies to me that the Happy Chaos is just going to be fundamentally different. Which, first of all, thank God, his current design is just flat out a mistake in my opinion, but at the same time, what are they turning him into? The other miscellaneous balance change that they showed is the fact that Asuka can summon his staff without spending one of his cards. The impression that I'm getting from this is that staff is going to be treated as a separate special. If that is the case, that means the effect that his staff has on his spells must also be different. Because as it stands, there are currently, I think, 6 different types of staves, and if you're gonna tie that to a special input, you're gonna have to bring that number down to 4, because you only really have punch kick slash heavy slash. For my own sanity, I am not going to consider the possibility that they just change the way his inputs work entirely. Either way, seems to be another big, foundational rework. Now on to the 4 characters receiving new special moves. I'll start with the one I have the least to say about. Soul Bad Guy seems to have a Sidewinder from plus R back. The amount of damage and hit stop it does also implies that the clean hit mechanic is returning as well. As much as I want it to be a separate move, I'm pretty sure they're going to keep it as a follow-up to the DP in order to prevent TODs from happening all the time. Leo Whitefang gets a new move from his back turn stance that leaves him plus on block, and I believe he can decide whether or not it crosses up. This move seems to lose to 6 Ps, but prevents him from getting thrown, which is a weakness the rest of his back turn stance had. Overall, a great addition. My mental stack has never been so overwhelmed. Kai's new move is fairly simple, but super versatile. While his stun edge is flying across the screen, he can detonate it and turn it into a pillar of lightning, preventing the opponent from jumping over or low profiling the projectile, and knocking them up high enough for Kai to convert afterwards. It reminds me a lot of Kuon's laser into pillar from Under Night, and I imagine that with the removal of Wild Assault, this will be the way that Kai gets more of his extended combos from pokes. I saved Nagoriyuki for last because I have absolutely no idea what to make of this. At the start of the clip, it looks like he's just a couple Fukiyos away from getting full blood rage. And when he performs the new special, that blood goes all the way up, but he doesn't pop. Instead, his head gets like a shadow over it and some blue aura. My best guess is that this is a mechanic that's replacing the blood rage that we know currently. And if that is the case, then I am sure there are a lot of people that are going to be upset at this change. But even with this Sans eyeball thing he has going on, he's able to Fukiyo his way in and get a bite off. The bite removes the blue glow, but also removes a set amount of his blood instead of draining it over time. What does any of this mean? I have no idea. None. And that is unfortunately all of the information that we have regarding character balance, as the trailer that was shown switches to other aspects of the update, such as cosmetics. After seeing how successful Granblue was when they did it, Guilty Gear is finally adding alternate skins to the game, alongside unique weapons, changes to the UI, and even short visual novel style stories, all of which can be unlocked via the Blazing Pass.
That's like the Battle Pass.
That's what I'm saying! I'm really on board with this. I know a lot of people have been asking for an updated UI and other cosmetic options. Also, locking lore behind a battle pass is definitely a choice. I haven't mentioned the new characters up to this point, mainly because I don't have a lot to say aside from they just look fantastic. Gameplay-wise, Jam looks like she hasn't been changed from Exard at all. And the inclusion of the little bunny Usagi is just the cherry on top. All of her animations having her hold Usagi while she's fighting, it's adorable. Also, Robo Ky looking clean. I see the haircut, dude. Last thing I want to say is I really dig the whole neon red and teal color scheme they got going on for this update. It's different from the way Guilty Gears looked before while still keeping kind of a rock and roll vibe, and it reminds me of 2 of my top 5 favorite fights in Jujutsu Kaisen. I believe that's all the information we have currently. If I missed anything, let me know in the comments. Just wanted to get a quick video out while I was in a content-making mood. Who knows, I might actually start making Strive content regularly depending on how much I like the update. Anyways, bye.